And we're at it again. It's DL Hughley Uncut. Welcome to the show.
Why do you always get to do the
Yeah, I do, because I'm the best at doing it. Duh.
Don't say that.
It's true.
Charlie lets you do it because he thinks I won't do it right.
No, that's not true.
I don't say my own goddamn name.
First of all, I'm just a better speaker.
Yes.
A better reader. Yes. That's all.
Look at Jesse
more
Jackson.
animated.
Me too.
And plus, Indian Jay's here. Look
There
at
he
his
is.
gorgeous mane.
Look at him. I'm sure I've purchased several packs of that hair before.
Let me ask you something. Do you believe that history is written by the winners?
It obviously it is.
Yeah.
That's the only reason we believe Columbus discovered it. Like, it's obvious. It's
It
obvious.
is. Well, that's what Barr said when he was questioned about, I guess, Michael Flynn being released from prison.
You bullshit. This man admitted. Well, he obviously did what he was accused of doing. He certainly lied to the feds, right?
Yeah, and he said he lied.
What I don't understand is how, first off, Barr has been called on by 2,000,
Former members of the Justice Department,
right? To resign.
Resign, yeah, to get out.
He's made a department that wasn't political very political. So he is, in essence, he might as well be Donald Trump's personal lawyer. He's his Larry Parker.
Yeah, he
what
is.
He is.
Which is why he whispers, because you can't tell a lie
Right.
out loud. You have to whisper it.
Then the fact he looks like
talking.
Roseanne's husband on
Dan.
he looks but you know it's funny, like now they're calling this Department of Justice to investigate prosecutorial misconduct in Georgia, like letting
In the
William
Ahmaud
Barr
Arbery case. Yeah.
investigate prosecutorial misconduct is like, why don't we let R. Kelly investigate sex trafficking? Why don't we do that?
No, I mean, it's ridiculous. And the fact that, obviously, it's no secret that he will support anything that Trump does or says.
Right.
And we all know how Trump is when it comes to race, you know. My goodness, look at what he did with that reporter during that press conference.
But you know what? Trump would never pick anybody to a department that he couldn't manipulate or use in some way. He wouldn't do it.
No, he's the first. So George W. Bush, I believe, was the first president for the people who voted for him. Every other president before him tried to be a president for the United States of America.
Right.
And then Donald Trump took what Bush did a step further and said, I'm going to be the president for just Donald Trump.
Right. So, but ultimately, there was people pretended to have these moral standards, but now all of a sudden we have he's nakedly vague. Donald Trump, the Mueller report, he squelched it. He made sure that he cherry-picked, and now he abets, like I don't understand how you expect us to believe in justice when you subvert it all the time. When you say, I'm going to make it be what I say it is. And we are now in a situation where we're supposed to believe a guy who laughed when you said how history's going. I'll be dead. I might not even make it out of the room.
But the sad thing, too, is that we're sitting by, and not just us, but the people around him are sitting by and allowing this to happen.
But what is it? Like, the alternative is they basically had a president who was impeached. People are forgetting that. With evidence. He said, I did it. He said, I did it, and then first he didn't do it, and then it's a witch hunt, and then, well, he did it, but it doesn't rise to the level of impeachment. We can't have a justice when people don't have moral standards. They don't have the integrity. They don't have integrity anymore, so they can just do whatever they want. They can make the rules.
You know, if you look at the way the divide is, people just blindly believe him and believe what he does is right and believe everything.
Right.
And so then anytime you present facts or arguments that counter what he says or anything he does, people, fake news, fake news.
Everything's fake.
So then what happens, 20 years when we study the presidency? Is it going to be fake history, alternative history? What are they going to argue?
Well, let black people. Yeah, it's always been fake history.
You didn't know, Indian Jay?
Oh, but then, the name Indian was taken from my people for a little bit in that
First of
fake
all,
history.
your people? What are you talking about, Indian Jay? Your people?
Look at
What
his
are you
two
talking
Indians.
about?
Columbus
Yeah.
was looking for my people.
First of all.
So your people could get that hair.
Look great.
You know what? We're going to go to break.
Greatest.
Whoop his ass. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's a 7-Eleven and a casino having an argument. I don't. Do you think that it says like Lyndon Johnson said, if you convince the lowest white man that he's better than, I'm paraphrasing, a black man, he'll turn his pockets off for you. I think that there is a faction of America that no matter what we're going through, no matter how bad it is, feels like if you make them feel better about being white and American, that they don't care what happens. And that's just true.
It is true. You can tell that by the COVID virus.
Yeah.
They know it's more black and brown people who are dying, but guess
And they
what?
don't care.
They're not doing anything about
No.
it. They've not launched any type of new, policy or procedure to kind of infiltrate it and
No.
say they haven't done anything.
Well, when the Atlantic published a great article and it said that once he found out who was dying from it,
Yeah.
but the problem is that there are old white voters dying from it, and they're angry because they don't feel like their lives are over. Like, I know that they are consigned to the villages now, but but they feel like you. The problem is that if any group of people should sign up first to give their lives in the service of the economic power of America, it is the people in that generation who's benefited the most.
Right.
You can't think of anybody who's benefited more than America's past brutality and injustices than old white people. So why you mad now?
It's
Just
true.
because you're in a wheelchair, you lived good,
And it's their people who are giving them
right?
up.
You're right, like,
It is
man,
their people, the Republicans.
it's a dude you went to high school with.
Right. Take him first.
But it's like interesting because his support around old people is dropping, and like, why am I my support? Because they are.
Right. Old people vote. Old people make it up. They plan their day around voting.
The highest demographic than anybody else, and they feel like this is how you know how bad it is in America. Before we finish this broadcast, before this airs, there'll be almost 90,000 Americans died. It'll be almost double what died in Vietnam in 20 years, in 3 or 4 months. And we never have a national day of mourning.
Mm-mm.
We don't have flags at half-mast. It is because of the type of people. It's the old, the black, and the brown, and the poor that are dying. And America's like,
They don't care.
Nana and Papa's bad, but they don't care.
Mm-mm.
They don't.
Nobody's ever said I'm sorry.
No.